Mike Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor with the IRS. Welcome to my YouTube video. It's the home of the 5-minute or less video. I have been doing this for, I worked at IRS for a decade. I've been in private practice for 4 decades. This August, I will have been doing this 50 years. I'm a national expert in IRS matters. I have a whole team of former IRS agents. I've been on almost all the major news stations. You can see all my clips and my team of cast of characters, all the former IRS agents, tax attorneys, and CPAs on my website at 777irs.com. I do these videos for 3 reasons: to go ahead, to educate you, to inform you, so you don't get ripped off. If you want to file an offer and compromise, God, I started this station because there's so much garbage on YouTube about tax. I figured someone's got to tell you the truth. And lastly, I give you insider information about IRS that most people can't do. I should know after 50 years, right? Today I want to talk to you about a bank levy and how soon you can get a bank levy in fact released. Just let's look at this thing at 30,000 feet. If you owe a tax bill, IRS will start sending you letters. They start out with the CP14, then they go to the 501, 503, CP 504, and then the 1058 comes out. At the end of the 1058 letter, 30 days after, that's a time-sensitive letter. If you don't file a collection due process or call IRS during that whole time, which probably spans 4 months, IRS is going to send out a bank levy and garnish your wages. And what that means is the day that the bank receives that levy, that's a 668 form. They are going to hold that money, freeze that money in that account for 21 days. 21 days. So that money is frozen. So if they receive the levy at 10 o'clock on Monday, then the money in that bank at 10 o'clock Monday is frozen. No other money is frozen. You can make a deposit Tuesday for $100 million and they can't touch the money. So the levy is good at the day, place, and time of service. Now, you can continue to use the bank account. I wouldn't. The key is, how do you get that bank levy released? As a former IRS agent, I literally have filed probably thousands of bank levies and wage garnishment levies. At IRS, back when I worked there, we were levy happy, and there was no computer to generate them all, so I signed them all really by hand. I changed my signature. I've told you before on other videos, I changed my signature to an S because I actually signed so many of them. But how can you go ahead and get this released? Well, if a revenue officer, someone in the local office has sent that, you're going to have to contact the revenue officer in the local office. They're going to want a form 433A, and they're going to want to close your case. I'll explain that in a minute. If the case came from, and most of them will come from the 1-800 number, they will go ahead and send the levy out. You'll look at the bottom, it's from the ACS unit. There's a 1-800 number, and you can call that 1-800 number. Depending on where the levy is from, you may have a tougher go with the revenue officer, but I was a former RO. We get these released all day long. If your case is at the service center, IRS is not only going to want to release the levy, but they are in fact going to go ahead and want to close your case as well. What do I mean? Your case is on their computer screen as an open assessment, and they need to close that. There's 3 ways that they can close that case: by offer and compromise, just being filed. They don't have to accept that and take it off. By payment agreement, or by hardship. When you call the Internal Revenue Service, like I said, the RO is going to want a very exhaustive 433A, but when you call the 1-800 number, they're going to want an abbreviated form that called the 433F. You can download it online. There are only two pages. IRS is going to look at that. They're going to drill down on that. They're going to want to look at bank statements. They are going to want to look at your pay stub, and they want to make sure you're living within your means. So basically, they're going to ask, how do you want to pay the debt? Well, half the people, believe it or not, who have these bank levies sent out can't pay, and they're in currently non-collectible or hardship. But how do you get there? You must know the IRS system to get put in hardship. I'll explain that in a minute. The other half are probably going to be making a payment agreement. When you go ahead and fill out that 433-F, the agent on the other end of the phone is going to be looking at two things. They're going to be looking at your assets, and they're going to be looking at your income and expenses. IRS is going to apply the national standards to your case. That is, if you make, say, $7,000 a month, IRS is going to look and say, what are the national standards? IRS is going to lock you into your food and clothing. They're going to lock you into your housing and utilities. They're going to lock you in your vehicle cost, and they're going to lock you into your operation cost. You're going to be forced to use the IRS standard. Many times, if you don't hire a professional, IRS is going to wiggle and twist your arm into a payment agreement that you are not going to want to make. Now, I will tell you, if you don't owe a lot of money, you owe up to $30,000, give them a call. You're all either going to get put hardship or a payment. If you owe more money than that, you have no business calling the IRS, because it's probably not going to be a big day. You must understand how the National Standard Program applies to you. Remember, when you give them that financial statement, IRS is going to look at the numbers you're getting them, and they're going to change them, because they're not going to usually accept all the expenses that you're putting, and they want the excess. Anyway, you're welcome to call us if you need a quick release. We can usually get them in 72 hours as a general rule. Anyway, if this information was good, I try to give you good insider information. Please give me a subscription, because YouTube thrives on those. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. By the way, leave a comment if you want me to do a YouTube on something. I do that, but I do appreciate the subscription. Thank you.